I've spent my life in asset management around offshore, upstream oil and gas production and transportation assets. So really my interest in offshore wind is really how can we transfer some of the learnings, good and bad, from offshore oil and gas into offshore wind. And a bit around really within that the importance of asset management. I've been involved in asset management at all stages of the life cycle. So it's really looking about how to maximize value from the asset across the entire life cycle. And it involves understanding the revenues, the commercial drivers, opportunities to make more money out of it, the risks and how to manage them. I'll constantly think between value, risk, and then the physical infrastructure and what does that entail. So where's the money flows, where are the risks, who's best to own the risks, and what then are the physical assets. So if I give some examples, I was in charge of new gas storage facilities, so big storage facilities, and when I arrived in the job, I realized very quickly that we were investing tens and tens of £1 million to try and get the asset to do something it just was never going to do as fast as a different type of asset. And actually where the value in the asset was in expanding the season, the winter, summer, so the volume, not trying to compete in an intraday model. So I was able to put a pause on the project, rescope, take capital out, and actually add a huge amount of value. And again, there, the beauty of asset management is then helping people understand where the value is. So we gave some rules of thumb to the developers. Every extra BCF of volume is worth this much on the value. So that's one example. Another example then is another project where we were building a new transportation and processing facility. And in the project stage, to save cost and schedule, there was a proposal to take out part of the scope. And so what I was able to do then again is thinking about where should the risk lie, make sure that my bit of the business took on the appropriate risk and the person who had best ownership of that risk took on the other bit. So it was really around combining two facilities, making sure that the risk transfer and the value transfer was right. So those are just some examples. Also around then towards the end of the life, how do we extend field life? Most recently, my role's been running a very large scale production and transportation asset. So I had about 300 staff, 130 sleeping offshore every day. And we had some really big challenges. When I took that asset on, we were the worst performing asset in the UK. And over a period of 2 years, turned it around to be top of second quartile, top of second quartile, possibly top quartile. And that was really around focusing on what mattered. So for us, it's safety. Safety is good morally, it's good business. It was about reliability, so making sure our asset produced, really extending the operating envelope. How do you get more out every day as well as more days? Using preventative maintenance, condition monitoring, digital techniques to support that. And then really looking about how to minimize what we had to spend and achieve more. So I am an absolute passionate advocate of diversity, and I've seen firsthand the benefit that promoting diversity brings. I think my first message really is don't expect this will just happen. It won't. I come from the oil and gas industry, and really I think we haven't made the inroads we should have done. So what would I say? Some of the things that I've seen that success and some things I've done. I implemented gender balance apprenticeships to make sure we had the feeder pool. I made sure that young female people in operations and engineers had the right mentorship and coaching. It's really important to make sure we encourage women to apply for roles. In my experience, the women look at a job and say, I can only do 8 out of 10 of the attributes, and men look at it and say, I can do 2 out of 10, I'm definitely going to get it. And actually we need to actively encourage women to apply. And we need to give them the right sponsorship and the right stretch opportunities. So my absolute plea to the offshore wind industry is you have such an amazing opportunity. It's so exciting, but don't expect this is going to happen. It will take thought and consideration and effort, and it will be absolutely worth it.